what are your thoughts on love and love languages? Now, I find the concept of love languages interesting. I actually do not agree with the premise of it. And it's funny because my church promotes the love languages. And people ask me all the time, and I'm like, I don't agree with the premise of it. And people are always like, what? And I was like, no, I don't agree with the premise of it. I think it's reductive. But I think of the love language that I can see when evaluating human behavior and watching people. I can see why people actually agree with it. It's a lot easy to categorize that ways of thinking of love and how you can give and receive love. But why I don't agree with the premise of the love languages is because it is stated, and he said it to himself on stage, that everyone has a primary love language. And the concept of the use primary as that qualifier suggests that's always true. And it is basically unchangeable, right? And I think I'm saying this word because we think about the connotation of the word and how it's used. I just think that why I think it's reductive because it just makes people kind of be lazy. It also keeps people in a way of not paying attention to the insecure attachment styles that they may have, and not paying attention to the details of when it comes down to their partners. I think about just like a woman on her cycle. Let's think about like the reproductive cycle, right? So we're thinking about like the week before her period. You want to be giving words of affirmation. You want to be complimenting her. You want to be showing her that she's valued, she's seen, she's sexy, all these things. Why? Because when her ovulation happens, all she wants to do is sit on your face or sit on your lap. Okay? And that's where physical touch and quality time comes in. And then right after her ovulation, now you want to be receiving gifts possibly and like little parts of acts of service because her period is about to come and she's going to be exhausted. And then acts of service comes in. And it's just like when I think about just the complexity when looking at women in itself, how can we say that there's a primary love language? Literally, a healthy woman, or even women having abnormalities in their reproductive cycle, you have to go through all 5 of them in the span of 4 weeks. So how do we say that there's a primary love language? That doesn't even make sense. That's why I say it keeps people lazy. For me, when it comes down to love, I want to know the cadence of your heartbeat. I want to know everything when it comes down to you. Like, I want to see you and see you clearly and show you love in a way that you feel appreciated comprehensively. So I can't even say that I want to just be looking for a primary love language, because if people are primed, as in if people are trained to only look for one thing, they're going to ignore the rest of it. And when people ignore the rest of the love languages or they're not paying attention, I'm really more concerned as to why, right? If someone doesn't like receiving compliments or receiving words of affirmation, I'm concerned. That tells me there's a deeper level of trauma, deeper level of insecurity that you haven't worked through, right? Because a secure person, a healthy person, knows how to give and receive compliments in balance. If someone doesn't like to be touched, at some point, they learn that touch is unsafe. I'm concerned about that. If someone doesn't like acts of service, I'm concerned about that, because hyperindependence is a trauma response. What's going on? What happened in your lived experiences? I would like to know. If someone doesn't like quality time, why do you like isolation so much? What makes you think that being around people or spending time in intimacy is unsafe? Right? So when I think about the complexities of human behavior, I just cannot agree with the premise of the love languages. And it's so different from how much I like to know the details when it comes down to people and the people I love. So when I think of love languages, I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just don't agree. I don't agree. And one of the things when I think about how I've received love, I think of one of my exes, my second love. That man, he spent time to learn me. He knew something was off just by how I breathe. I didn't have to tell him I was anxious. He was like, you're breathing differently. So it's just like how I've given and received love is in such detail and comprehensively. So when I see things about the love languages, I'm just like, man, I don't agree. I just don't. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't make me feel or think. Doesn't make me think. That's really it. And I like things that challenge my thoughts. I like things that help me learn, help me grow in different ways. But I completely understand why people like it and people find it useful. So, I mean, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts on love and the love languages? Let me know.